everyone. Good morning. So today I'm the host of this webinar, and I have myself Nilufar, and I have Debottam and Sanjay with me.
Hi,
Hi Debottam. Hi Sanjay. How are you guys doing?
Hi.
doing great.
Good. Okay. So today we are going to talk about this sales AI assistant, and which is also known as Zoe. And so all of us, three of us, is going to basically talk about some case studies that we have done, and also we are going to walk you through the workflow of how it works and what is this magic of the fourth follow-up, and also we would walk you through some of the core features of Zoe. So welcome to the webinar, and let's get started. So the first thing that um, comes to our mind is like, do you follow up enough? So let's give it a thought on this particular question. Like, when a typical sales rep is following up with a lead, so what is the human tendency? Like, we would follow up once probably, and then if we don't get a response, probably we would just give another follow up, right? So that is the typical trend when we talk about following up with thousands and thousands of leads that a typical sales rep follow. So so, so 80% of the reps typically abandons the follow up after the two attempt. Like, if I'm following up with a lead, I would try for like once and twice, and if I don't see any response coming up, I would just probably abandon that lead, and I would just move to the next lead. So that is one of the key factor which we have observed in terms of in any sales cycle that we talk about. But however, the magic which happens is basically at the fourth follow-up. 50% of the lead response after at least we follow up with them uh, fourth, you know, fourth time. So that is the catch basically, and that is what we are going to talk about, like how Zoe actually helps in automating that process to take care of that mundane work from the sales rep, so that they can focus more on actually talking about the products or their offering once the lead has showed interest. So um, so let's talk about like how Zoe can help you to prospect at scale. So the first thing, we would like to start off with the case studies that we have done, and we'd like to show you, like, how Zoe was useful and helpful in particularly two sectors that I'm going to talk about. One is from an event industry, and another is basically from a non-profit organization. So the first case study that I'm going to talk about is basically this particular organization, where they are into event registration. So their main forte was, taking care of any event that is happening, and the event registration process basically. So along with that, what was their requirement was they wanted to reach out to more exhibitors who were attending the event, and also they wanted to automate their lead engagement process. Like, let's say I am an exhibitor and I'm going to participate in a particular event, and I would be expecting a lot of people coming to my booth and submitting their queries, and I'm showcasing their offering. So they were basically offering a product called badge scanner, which would simply scan the badge of of the person they're coming to their booth, and the lead information gets updated in their system. So this was their tool, which they were offering to the exhibitors who were attending the event. So they wanted to, so the list of the exhibitors were huge, and they were working with lots and lots of events. Like, they were working with more than 21 trade shows. So you can imagine the amount of the volume of exhibitors they were reaching out to. So it was not possible for their sales rep to reach out consistently with all these sales rep, and ensure that they get a response from them. So how Zoe helped this particular organization was, so we set up a campaign, and we were working across 21 trade shows. So there were more than 20,000 exhibitors that we were launching the campaign for. So before every event that was happening, so before around, let's say, a month ago, Zoe used to start up the campaign for that particular event. And the campaign, the first thing which I would like to talk about is the way the campaign started off. Like, it was to start with a very gentle reminder where it would introduce themselves that, we are the lead badge scanner, like this friendly tone of this particular mail, the initial mail that used to go out to these exhibitors, where Zoe would reach out to them and would introduce that, we are the lead badge scanner, official badge scanner, and we would like to sell this product to you, or we would like to talk about this product, and your event is coming up. So we are offering a lot of discounts and offers. So that is the friendly tone on which Zoe used to start up the initial email with. And then it used to politely follow up with the particular lead. So in this case, in this particular case study, so what used to happen was, first is there were, the the first is the friendly tone, which I would like to talk about. And then the second thing was the way Zoe was following up with them. It was not like a, the reminders were very polite. And in some cases, we noticed that the exhibitors were grateful, like, they were appreciating the fact that you're following up with me, even though they were out of office, or they are returning, they are on holidays, and still Zoe was consistently following up with them after a certain interval of time. So that was one factor which helped them to, even, let's say they were interested, but since they were out of office, they missed the mail, and then again Zoe was following up with them once they are back in office. So Zoe had this intelligence to identify, let's say if a particular response said that, we are out of office right now, and I'll be probably back to work after a certain date, then Zoe used to immediately follow up after that particular date. So that helped to take care of all the cases. In some cases, let's say the person was interested, but since they were out of office, they could not reply back. Had it been a human's rep following up, it might slip out of my agenda that I need to follow up with that person. That person is coming back after so and so date. So because of this automation, it really helped to take care of that particular lot as well, where there was a probability of converting a lead into a hot stage. So that is one takeaway from that. And the another takeaway was, what we noticed was like, 187 hot leads in just 30 days. So since the follow-up were well planned, and we had roughly about 7 to 8 follow-up in each campaign, and the campaign used to automatically stop after 2 days before the event. So they had these lot of they used to offer, initially they started off with a minimal offer, like, if you register now, then you would get so and so discount. And as the event day was approaching, so they could change the offerings to make sure that, they can make most out of it, and they can sell maximum of their badge scanner. So they can, so Zoe provided the flexibility to kind of adjust your email templates in case it is not sufficing the requirement. Then you can just adjust the tone of the email during the campaign is live. So that is what helped them to ensure that they could reach out to maximum crowd, and also offer them the best of the offerings they had. So that in turn helped them to convert a lot of the leads into hot one. So that is one takeaway. And the follow-up was at scale. It's like each campaign were at least following up with 5,000 to 6,000 exhibitors at the same time. So you can imagine the amount of the volume that the campaigns were taking care of. So that made sure that they can reach out to a vast, exhibitors at the same time, and the follow-up was happening as per the scheduled cadence that they had. So this is the second takeaway. The third, like I mentioned at the initial point, like, the friendly helped to, and it appeared as if, a real person is conversing with me, and it is giving me the offer, or it is asking me to, set up a meeting with me on Calendly, and just, or if you're not, and if you're very sure that you would like to purchase this product, then you can just simply click on the order link and do it. So this was the another takeaway of this particular campaign that we had done. And like I said, the prospects showed appreciation for the reminders, because many of them were, like I said, were out of office, and the way the repeated reminders were going, so it was not at all, they did not feel like, why you're bothering me again and again. In fact, they were appreciating that, yes, I wanted to get that particular bad scanner, and how can I get it. So that was the another takeaway of this particular campaign that we did. So this was about this event industry that we were talking about. And the next use case that I would like to talk about is basically a non-profit organization, where the objective was, they were organizing these events to raise fund for a cause. So during the event, they used to, the donors would pledge, right? They would pledge that they would like to donate so and so amount. And after that, what happens is, many of the cases, when they get when they get the information of, like, you need to go and visit this particular URL and complete your pledge and make the payment. So many of the cases, we see that, only 20-23% of the people are going to complete their pledge at the time of the event. Like, the event is going on and I want to pledge, and I complete my pledges right away. But maximum cases, like, more than 70% of the donors would actually complete their pledge after the event is done. So now you either need to manually follow up with them, call them, and request them to complete their pledges, or you can just automate this process. So this was another very interesting project that we have done, and it was very exciting, where we got a chance to explore another channel of Zoe, which is basically the SMS channel. So we have this various channels on which Zoe particularly operates. So the initial is, of course, the email, and the other channel that we have is basically the SMS channel. So this particular use case that we are talking about, we extensively used Zoe campaign for SMS channels only. So the use case was just to give a gentle pledge reminder to all the donors to please complete their pledge. So and Zoe literally helped over 87 donors complete their pledges after the campaign was over. So the the cadence was again layout for around 8 to 12 weeks, and we would notice that people would actually complete their pledges after, like, the 8th reminder or the 9th reminder. So that was the beauty of this campaign, and the use case that we had worked on. So next, I am handing over to Sanjay, who is going to talk about how what is this Zoe workflow. So over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you. Okay. So the workflow of the Zoe, mainly the cadence, works in a seamless way. When you set up a cadence to start sending mails, you can just predefine what are the mails that needs to be sent at what time, and the order of the mails that you need to send. So for, let's say, the initial mail, that is the first mail that goes to the uh, contacting the lead, it's fired at once, and after that all the follow-ups are set up at the back end of the Zoe, so that it's and also with the frequency of the follow-ups, and with the also there's a possibility of setting of date and time on which follow-up to be and what date to be that follow-up needs to be sent. And in similar fashion, multiple follow-ups can be set up. So let's say you want to set up, let's say, 5 follow-ups for a lead. So one by one you can set up the text of, and also the text of the follow-ups need not to be the same. It will be quite maybe the similar will be the similar in text, but some write-ups might be just uh, see that it's from a real virtual assistant, something like that. So multiple follow-ups can be sent. So first follow-up, second follow-up, maybe third, fourth, so on. Okay. So these are regarding the follow-ups. And one more good feature of this is you can set up follow-ups, not only email follow-ups, but a combination of, let's say, multiple follow-ups. For example, if you set one follow-up as email, then the second one can be a text follow-up from us in a SMS channel.
Yeah.
Similar,
Like
yeah,
in this case, Sanjay, I'm seeing like, the first two follow-ups were over email channel, and the
right,
third follow-up was over SMS, right?
right.
So you can just
Hmm.
mix and match the channels basically based on whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yes. So multiple follow-ups in similar fashions can be sent. So yeah, and as you talked about the fourth follow-up, the magic
Mm-hmm.
behind the fourth follow-up,
Mm-hmm.
usually the trend is that after in human tendency is that after, let's say, for two or three follow-ups only, people need gets to respond. So in the fourth follow-up, generally we have seen that the people reach out to us, yeah, acknowledging that they have received the mail or something like that. Yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
okay. So even this our Zoe cadence, the workflow of the Zoe is not limited to not only just sending the follow-ups, it also tries to capture the responses that are sent from the leads. Let's say it might be a query, or
Mhm.
it might be a simple statement saying that no, I don't need this, or don't follow up
Okay.
to me. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Don't
yeah,
bother me. I'm not
don't
interested.
bother me. Yeah,
Right.
not
Right.
interested.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and maybe might be a positive response, like say, yeah, I'm very much interested and I
Okay.
want to just uh, tell me more about the
Right.
product yours. So
Right.
something like that. Yeah, it might be a neutral thing, might be a positive one, might be a
Or might
negative.
be a cold response.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
or might be let's say out of office response,
Yeah.
generally the
Right.
automated responses that are set up in the mail itself,
Right.
leads mail itself. So
Mm-hmm.
this all types of response, whichever leads responds with that in the follow-up mail,
Mm-hmm.
are captured with the lead response, and according to the response which it has captured, it
Mm-hmm.
tries to categorize it as a, let's say, a neutral response, or a positive response, or a negative response, or like a out of office response.
Okay. So, Sanjay, I have a question. So, does it also notify the lead owner that a response has come, or like does a
Yeah,
notification goes? Okay.
right, right.
Okay.
Yeah, so once the response lead responds back,
Mm-hmm.
uh, then us SMS, email, and maybe the SMS notification also goes to the lead owner,
Okay.
that this so and so lead has responded back with this
Okay.
response.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the lead owner can just jump in and just take
Take
the
it forward.
necessary actions. Yeah,
Right.
take it
Right.
forward from there.
Okay. That's great. Okay.
Yeah. So as I said, the lead response, let's say it might be a positive one or negative one, or a, let's say, so we can categorize this, and our Zoe has termed some coin, this positive response, negative response, into some unique identifiers. So
Okay.
like a hot, if it is a positive response, we say it as a hot response.
Okay.
So just a terminology, nothing
Mhm.
doesn't mean just giving it a term name. So a
So,
positive response is a
Sanjay,
hot
this is the
response. Yeah,
sorry to interrupt. So, this
yeah,
is
yeah.
the dashboard basically which any lead owner would get to see when they
Right,
log into Zoe. So, this is the dashboard which gives them a snapshot of what is happening and what are the campaigns running, and
Right.
what is the stage, what is how many have turned hot, or all the categories that we are going to talk about, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So similarly, you can see that there are different tabs. It is
Mm-hmm.
segregated in tabs. All these responses that are came, lead responses that came,
Mm-hmm.
are categorized into separate tabs so that the lead owner can easily identify which they need to follow or which they need to ignore, or if some needs actions, further
Right.
actions.
Right.
So let's say the flagged ones are like the lead responses which need immediate actions. Some
Mm-hmm.
action is required,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then there's a live. Live are the those which are currently going on. So still, it's no response has been received, or it is still in follow-up stage.
Okay.
So yeah, and the cold is again the negative.
Mm-hmm.
If it is a negative response, then it automatically flags it as a cold,
Mm-hmm.
and just that immediately, if there's a, let's say a follow-up is on the, let's say, second follow-up or third follow-up,
Mm-hmm.
if the lead responds back
Mm-hmm.
uh, with a negative response, let's say says that don't follow up with me, it immediately marks as a cold lead, and it turns off the all the next follow-ups after that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So same. So this is all highlighted here. So the lead, all the counts are highlighted, that you can easily just make a track of it. How many hot leads are currently
Right.
applicable. Similarly, cold leads, all the things. Yeah.
So it is basically giving a comprehensive view of, like,
Yes.
the source, the conversation, when was the last follow up, when,
Right. Right. Right.
what is the current status, like how many send out has been sent, and whether we have received any response or not. So all
Right.
these,
Right. Right.
okay, all right,
Right.
okay,
So
uh,
it gives a snapshot of everything. Yeah.
okay,
Overall summary of the leads.
right, right,
Yeah.
right, right. Thank you, Sanjay. That was really,
Yeah. Thank
insightful
you.
about the workflow. So
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
next we are going to talk about is like why Zoe cadence, like, why should we use this? So Debottam, we would like to we would like to
yeah,
give us a insight on that, like, how it is helpful and how it can help different industries to automate their sales follow-up process. Over to you, Debottam.
yeah. So, Nilufar, you and Sanjay has given the success stories.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I can tell you the pain story here. Pain story.
Okay, all right.
So, it's 3 or 4 year back.
Mm-hmm.
My manager given me a problem
Mm-hmm.
that our sales team has run an email campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and it has hundred of emails. Okay,
Right. Okay.
triggered. Uh, and at that time there is no such product. So once it's about 3 or 4 years back, my
Okay.
manager asked me to provide a report
Mm-hmm.
that an email campaign has been run through by our sales team, and there are hundred of emails fired triggered by the leads,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to capture all the statistics of the email.
Okay.
And what I have to do, I have to read the mailbox and find a particular pattern which is
Mm-hmm.
matching that a particular string,
Mm-hmm.
and find out the leads which has given positive feedback by these particular uh, string matching algorithm,
Mm-hmm.
and then send them email and then send them an email
Mm-hmm.
that for a meeting request, and they will send back the back and forth the emailing conversation, and
Okay.
then the meeting is finally set with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was a pain.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
in current what we have in currently in our GUI cadence
Mm-hmm.
uh, is we have recovered this pain into a success story, and
Right.
turned into this pain into success story. How the email response are automatically turned into hot or cold by the AI, and it learns by itself. So when we turn a particular conversation as hot, it learns by itself, and from the next time onwards, the same type of email response has been marked as hot. So
Okay.
we do not have to do any pattern matching algorithm based on a particular string.
Okay.
So it learns by itself.
All right. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. Um, so this is the first point. Then the some small talks has been introduced, and that is in the screen.
So
Um,
basically, this small talks like helps to give a personality or to a to set the tone of the email, which makes it more like like a human like conversation, or
right,
so that the person doesn't cannot differentiate like whether it's a human conversing or a bot actually following up, right? So I think
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So
So
this is a small talk that gives us the human touch
okay,
over the conversation.
all right.
And then the meeting scheduling a meeting is a bit of pain. So there are so many back and forth emails to schedule a meeting. So
Mm-hmm.
here we have come up with a link in the email body. So
Okay,
a user can, or the leads or the prospects can set up a meeting with just a simple two-step in the meeting scheduler of our Joy calendar.
okay, all right,
So the
all right.
meetings are being set up in the Joy calendar automatically while they click on the link.
All right. So and this meeting would get set up at the calendar of the lead owner. The lead owner
Yeah,
would also
yeah,
get
yeah,
notified,
yes.
right? Okay.
Both of them
Okay.
has been notified,
Okay.
and based on their available time, the calendar is shown their the time they are available.
Okay. So
So
you mean to say that if I am the lead owner, so my
mhm.
calendar is already synced and it will only show the slots that I am available, right?
Right, right.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And the sales representative can set their available time in 24 hours. Let's say they are available only 8 hours. So the
Okay.
meetings will be scheduled only for that 8 hours only.
All right. Okay. So they can define their business hours like we are
Right,
available. Yes. Right.
right.
Okay. Great. So moving to the next. Okay. So this is the
Yeah,
AI training which you were talking about earlier.
yeah. I am talking about this AI training. This is the
Okay.
most powerful part of our product,
Okay.
that it learned by itself.
All right.
So whenever you marked as a hot or a cold, the same type of leads responses will be
Mm-hmm.
automatically marked as hot or cold for future.
Okay. That's great. Okay. Okay.
And it has also integration part, like if a lead has been marked as hot,
Mm-hmm.
so it will automatically integrated with the some Salesforce or Market or this type of products. And so also HubSpot and Microsoft Dynamics are available as an integration for our
Okay.
hot leads. So the managers of different sections or different department can view the leads.
So basically, what you're saying is, let's say I have a Salesforce CRM where I'm maintaining all my lead data and everything. So I can basically connect Zoe with that, and the leads can automatically get assigned to a particular campaign.
Right,
Okay. And when the follow-ups are happening, so anytime any response is coming along with notifying the lead owner, it can also mark that activity at back to the Salesforce CRM, right?
right, exactly.
Okay. Right. So it gives an end-to-end
Eh,
flow,
and
basically. Yes, correct.
right.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. That's great.
So
So next is
next is
security.
security.
Yes.
So the data flowing from the start to end is all encrypted. So
Okay.
encrypted means encrypted at rest. So while we store the database fully is encrypted, so no one can read the database at all.
Okay.
Okay. And only through certain passwords and other mechanism, database can be read out.
All right. All right. So
So
that's
this is an enterprise grade security.
all right. All right. So that's very interesting. So yeah, that was very insightful, session, both Sanjay and Debottam, and we got to know the various workflow and the features of Zoe. So this is our office address, and if you would like to reach out to us and know more about our product, please feel free to drop in a mail at hello@webspiders.com, and we would be happy to get on a call to showcase you more about our product. And yeah, that was it for this today's session. Hope it was helpful, and looking forward to the next webinar that will be coming up shortly. So thank you so much. Thank you, Debottam. Thank you, Sanjay, for the
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.